Hey YouTube, welcome back to Dwayne's World. So is organic better than synthetic? You want to find out what I'm talking about? You better stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to Season 2, Episode 24. Here on Dwayne's World. So I'm very excited about today's episode because I'm going to be featuring an organic fertilizer that I've never used before. You know, up to this point, the only organic fertilizer I generally have tried in the past is Milorganite. And I think a lot of people are very familiar with Milo and the fact that it works really, really well. Now, when you look at a price of bag of Milorganite right now, it's anywhere from $15 to $20 a bag, and it has no longer become economical. Now, my wife and I took a trip down to Lowe's the other day because of the fact that she wanted to actually find some new flowers for her flower bed. And on that trip, I took a look down the fertilizer aisle, and it's been quite a while since I've looked at any fertilizer at Lowe's. Now, one of the things that caught my eye was one of their proprietary brands, which I think is called Sta-Green. It's their own brand, and it was an organic fertilizer that had a very, very good-looking formulation, and that was a 16010. Now, what really caught my eye about this actual fertilizer wasn't only the formulation, but it was also the fact that it had humic acid and kelp. And rarely do you see those type of supplements added to a bag of fertilizer whenever you're purchasing it from a big box location. And that got me really excited, so I picked up a couple bags of it, and I'm going to feature it here today on Dwayne's World. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the lawn. So just want to show you guys a quick shot of the backyard here. You know, for those of you that are new to my channel, first of all, welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing here on Dwayne's World. Had quite a few new subscribers in the last couple months. I want to thank you guys for coming on board. Definitely appreciate your support. But what you're looking at is approximately 6,900 square feet of hybrid Bermuda. Now, my lawn is not necessarily looking 100% because, as you guys can see here, there's some yellowing that's going on. So what is the yellowing? What's going on there? Well, at first I thought maybe it's insect damage, but just based on the way it's looking, the way it's recovering, I don't think that's the case. I think what's happening here is these are a couple of the areas of my lawn that just are a little more compacted than the rest of the area, so that really affects the water's ability to really penetrate into the ground. And maybe earlier in the season it wasn't as big of a deal just because of the fact that the temperatures have not been that crazy. So in Southern California, in the last couple of weeks, we've been into the triple digits. And in fact, we've had temperatures as high as 113 degrees. It's been absolutely brutal. But this is where the Bermuda can absolutely come back. It can be easily repaired because I think what's happening is I just am not giving it enough water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and increase the watering on my irrigation system. I'm going to take it from about 1 inch a week to closer to 1.5 inches, especially as we're in this major heat wave. So with that, let's go ahead and get on to the mow. All right, so this will be using today to go ahead and mow the Bermuda lawn. This is a 20-inch 7-blade California trimmer. The model number on this California trimmer is the RL20H. It does have a California front split groove roller, which I absolutely love. I've also adapted my California trimmer with a handlebar extension kit, as you guys can see there. Absolutely love the handlebar extension kit. People have asked me if I recommend it. I absolutely do. Even if you're not of a really, really tall height, it can still be beneficial. I think the bars at an elevated position make it a little bit easier to use the California trimmer. Either way, even if you don't have the handlebar extension kit, I would highly recommend the California trimmer. As you guys saw in my comparison video, this was the mower I rated as the #1 mower out of the 4 mowers during that comparison. Now, one thing I will say is probably the biggest downfall to the California trimmer is this guy right here, the grass shield. It does a horrible job in really throwing clippings into the basket. Now, I will be catching my clippings today just because of the fact that I am battling some spurge. If by chance, those areas that are yellowing are fungus, I won't be spreading it, and I may be breaking the 1/3 rule here. Now, one thing I just wanted to mention is if you haven't subscribed to my channel just yet, please do so, because I'm very excited about one of my upcoming videos here where I'll be doing something to the California trimmer to really be able to help it in that area that it struggles. And with that, let's go ahead and get on to the stripe action. One pull. All right, guys, just want to jump in here on the video for a second here. I know you guys only saw me do a couple passes there, but let me show you what's going on here because I have a little confession to make after I show you what I'm going to show you here. All right, guys, so as you can see here, stripe action looking pretty good, but I'm scalping. So why am I scalping? Why does it look like that? You know, you guys may be seeing the same thing, and I kind of want to give you guys an idea of why this is happening. All right, guys, so truth be told, here's my confession. It's been about 6 days since my last mow. Yes, that's right. I've been so busy at work. Yeah, I have not been able to get out to the lawn nearly as often as I would like. Generally, I mow 2 to 3 times a week. I am using PGR, but this was kind of going to be an experiment without wanting to do an experiment, is to see if I was going to be scalping. Now, one of the things I was debating on whether I should do or not before I even shot this video is if I should raise the height of cut. I chose not to. So this is still 3/4 inch, and the Bermuda is going to grow back. It's going to be fine. But at the same time, I want to show you guys the importance, yes, learn from my mistake, the importance of mowing more than just once a week. You really have to be out in your lawn multiple times a week. And this is, again, where I hear a lot of people talk about, yeah, I want to have 1/2 inch turf, but it's 100 degrees outside, and how often will I have to mow? 1/2 inch, almost every day. 3/4 inch, probably 3 times a week. 1 inch, maybe once or twice. But at the same time, I would say in order to get a really good result on any Bermuda lawn, you should be looking at mowing at least twice a week. So with that, let's get back to some more hard cut action. I tell you, I want everyone to just reflect for a second. Do you remember early in the season, right before the green up, we were all thinking to ourselves, man, I can't wait. When's it going to heat up? When's it going to get warmer so I can start mowing? Well, that time is here. Oh, I tell you. But the only difference is right now it's about 40 degrees warmer. But let's go ahead and see how we did. Oh yeah, California trimmer, stripe action looking on point. Let me go ahead and turn it around. All right, guys. So you got to tell me, what do you think? Do you think that stripe action's on point? Do you believe the height of cut is on point? Should I have raised the height of cut? Or did exactly what I did in this video? Now, this is one of the things I will say. I probably will raise my height of cut. It's generally something I do during this time of year, just because the temperatures are so aggressive. I feel like I can probably get away with a really nice height of cut of 7/8. Now, 3/4 inch looks great. And 3/4 inch is what you're looking at right now. But my general rule when it comes to establishing a height of cut is I like to always cut one notch below where I want to maintain. So if I wanted to maintain this at 3/4 inch, and what you're looking at is 3/4 inch, I should have cut lower. I should have cut to 5/8. But then, I almost would be scalping, and I don't want to do that. So this way, it's kind of a happy medium. I get a really nice look. Don't have to really beat up the lawn too much right now. And the next time I mow, I'll go ahead and mow at the one notch higher, which should be about 7/8. So with that, let's get on to the fertilizer that I'm going to be using today, which is a first. All right, guys, so this is the fertilizer we're going to go with today. This is Sta-Green's Natural Fertilizer. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen here. I'll give you guys a little bit better view of the bag. But the thing that caught my eye about this particular fertilizer is the fact that it's a 2-in-1, meaning it's a fertilizer, but it's also a soil conditioner. What makes it a soil conditioner is the fact that it has humic acid and sea kelp, which is absolutely great for the lawn. One of the secrets to having a great looking lawn is ensuring you are feeding the soil and not just the grass. We're going to go ahead and use the SR2000 spreader to be able to spread this fertilizer. So with that, let's get it spreading. All right, guys, so one thing I just want to point out about my spreader, and you may have a spreader as well that also has pneumatic tires, you absolutely want to make sure you check the PSI on these. One of the things that can really affect the quality of the actual application is whenever you have a tire that is underinflated on one side or the other, that's really going to affect the spreader's ability to be able to spread the granular evenly. So I always want to go ahead and make sure that the tires are properly inflated. And as I can see, we were short a few PSI, so I'm going to go ahead and fill it up. Good to go. All right, guys, so one thing I want to point out that I absolutely love on these Anderson SR2000 spreaders is what they refer to as a helical cone adjuster. All right, so one of the reasons why I want to show you guys this feature is not only is it just a really cool design, but also the fact that a lot of times you deal with different prill sizes when it comes to different manufacturers of fertilizer. So how do I adjust it? Well, you basically adjust it by moving it from number to number. What do the numbers signify? Well, as you go higher in the numbers, such as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and so forth, the higher the number generally reserved for more of a greens grade fertilizer. As when you're dealing with a bigger prill size, you're going to want to adjust it to one of the lower numbers. So why is this important? Well, basically, as we all know, spreaders have this distribution plate here where generally the fertilizer falls onto it and it's dispersed onto the grass. What this cone filter does is it basically allows the prills to be separated by size, which makes for much better distribution when it's dispersing it onto the lawn. Pretty cool feature. Here's the actual fertilizer itself. Looks pretty good. As any organic fertilizer does, it does have that smell we all love. So with that, let's get it spreading. All right guys, so all that's left now is to go ahead and water it in. I'm gonna do a really deep watering cycle, probably 15 minutes a zone. Generally I water between 8 to 10 minutes a zone, but I really wanna make sure that this fertilizer gets down to the soil, especially because it is a thicker pearl. All right guys, so I really enjoyed putting this video together because of the fact that it reminds me a lot of when I first started in lawn care. You know, when I first started out, I really went to places like Home Depot and Lowe's to pick up my fertilizers. And I would use brands like Scott's or their own proprietary brands from Home Depot and Lowe's, and I've always had really good success. However, it wasn't until I really started to understand the importance of a soil test that I realized that those particular fertilizers weren't really the best for my application. Not only that, I like to spoon feed my lawn, which basically means you give it small amounts of fertilizer in a given time versus using one fertilizer that may last, 2 months. That's generally why when you go to a big box store, you'll find that the nitrogen in that particular fertilizer is so high compared to a lot of greens grade or professional grade fertilizers. Professional grade fertilizers generally are used in a spoon feeding technique where you're not necessarily giving the lawn a large dose of nitrogen all at one time. What does this spoon feeding do for you? It establishes a more consistent green from week to week versus peaks and valleys that you tend to find with a lot of those other big box fertilizers. So with all that being said, this is where I was really excited because the formulation on that organic fertilizer was a 16-0-10. 16% of it being nitrogen, 0% being phosphorus, and 10% being potassium, which every lawn needs during the stress of the hot summer months. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's always fun being able to put it together for you. Take a couple lessons from what I didn't do last week. Mow your lawn more often than once a week so you avoid the scalp action that you saw today, and use a good quality fertilizer that will feed both the grass and the soil. And with that, be excellent and party on.